Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Los Gatos Joint Town Council Parking Authority meeting of November 18th, 2014. At this time, I'd like to advise all those in attendance this evening to silence your cell phones, pagers, if people still use those, iPads, whatever else that you have in your person. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you and good evening. Councilmember Diane McNutt.
Here.
Councilmember Barbara Spector.
Here.
Councilmember Joe Przenski.
Here.
Vice Mayor Marcia Jensen.
Here.
Mayor and Chair Steve Leonardis.
Here. This time I'd like to invite up Natalia Corpela to join me leading the Pledge of Allegiance this evening. I will share with you a few words about Natalia. Natalia is a 7th grader at Fisher Middle School. Her favorite subjects are algebra, science, French, and choir. Natalia is a dedicated tennis player and is on the Fisher Middle School tennis team. Natalia has volunteered her time at the St. Mary's Fair recently. Natalia enjoys reading, drawing, computer games, and spending time with her friends. Natalia has dual citizenship. She is a U.S. citizen and a citizen of Finland. Please join me in welcoming this wonderful young leader of our community.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in another round of applause for Natalia. This time I'd like to invite up our finance manager, Mr. Steve Conway. This evening we will be presenting an award to Mr. Conway. It's called the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, CAFR, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013. And our town has received this award for more than a decade. It is the highest form of recognition in governmental accounting and financial reporting. It is judged by an impartial panel, which determined that the town report demonstrated a spirit of full disclosure that clearly communicates our town's finances. And Steve, I will let you say a few words if you like.
Thank you, Mayor.
About this fine achievement.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to accept this award on behalf of the town and the staff. Our CAFR, we call it, is actually our annual report, which is much like if we were in the commercial side of the world, it would be the annual report that we all look at when we want to see how a company's doing. And the CAFR for government is similar to that. It's our annual report. We're very proud of the fact that we prepare it in-house. We submit it every year for an award. And I'm always very thankful when we do receive our award because it's an accomplishment that we're quite proud of. And in the spirit of full disclosure, we meet all the governmental finance requirements in terms of how we disclose our financial operations. So thank you very much. I'm just happy everybody's out again to help me celebrate the award. As I say every year, we were kind of worried that we wouldn't have a good crowd, and I said, don't worry about it. We're having the award for the CAFR tonight, so we knew we'd have a good turnout. So I appreciate that very much, and thank you, Mayor. And on behalf of the town and the staff and the town manager's office, all of us that work on the report, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Next up is our Small Business Big Applause Award. I'd like to invite the personnel of Dance Attack, the management, whoever, to come forward, and we will celebrate offering you this commendation from the Town Council. All right, no one else is coming forward. All right. You are Elaine Pinto.
I am.
All right. We created the Small Business Big Applause Award to honor small businesses in our community, and this business touches my heart personally. It provides services to young people in our community in the form of dance lessons, and for me and my daughter, who attends this dance studio, it has been a great thing for her own personal growth. We're very proud of her. Thinking of the amount of dancers you have, some 320 students, 98 classes, 50-member performing company. It's no small feat. You are providing jobs to our community. You're providing services to the people. And we are grateful to have you in Los Gatos. Previously was located in Santa Clara in 1994, moved to Los Gatos in 1999. We're proud to have you here. And the Town Council is pleased to present a commendation to you, which I will be reading right now. Whereas Dance Attack was first opened in Santa Clara in 1994 by Elaine Pinto and her husband Lee, before moving to its current home in Los Gatos in 1999 to be part of a family neighborhood. And whereas Dance Attack is currently operating as a limited liability corporation, offering 98 classes to 320 students, including 50 members in their performing company. And whereas Dance Attack dancers become part of the Dance Attack family upon joining the studio. And whereas along with their dancers, Dance Attack often contributes to the community through in-kind donations and performances, including local community and school events, regional pageants, and sporting events. And I know you perform in our parade and at St. Mary's Fair and things such as that, giving back to the community. Now, therefore, the Town Council, the Town of Los Gatos, does hereby render, with special appreciation, accommodation to Elaine Pinto and Dance Attack Limited Liability Corporation for years of dedicated service to the Los Gatos community, dated November 18th, 2014. And this is for you, Elaine. Congratulations for being our Small Business Big Applause recipient this evening.
Thank you very much.
We have a special treat for you this evening. We have one of the dancers from Dance Attack who will be performing. This is Mia Kronik. Please come forward, and I'll say a few words about Mia. Mia is 13 years old and is a member of the performing company at Dance Attack Studios. As a member, she is proficient in ballet, jazz, and tap dancing. The group performs at many community events, as previously mentioned, the Los Gatos Holiday Parade, St. Mary's Fair, etc. They also compete at a nationally recognized dance competitions. She will do a short lyrical jazz dance for us. So we look forward to that, Mia. And I will get out of your way. Thank you. Thank you, Mia and Dance Attack, for that performance this evening. I'd like to remind those in attendance this evening, if you'd like to speak on any item which is not on the agenda, anything at all, please fill out a speaker card. They're located in the benches in front of you, and I have one card so far. council matters. Does any member of council have anything to share this evening? Councilmember Brzezinski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to report on the last couple of weeks of meetings attended. On last Wednesday, the 12th, I was at the Metropolitan Transportation Commission meeting in Oakland, and we discussed a number of issues related to the ongoing necessity of repairs to the new Oakland Bay Bridge. On Thursday, I was at the Cities Association Board of Directors meeting, primarily focused on the election results with the 15 cities and towns of the county. I want to comment specifically, however, on the VTA Board of Directors meeting that was held on the 6th, Thursday the 6th. At that time, the board was going to potentially move forward with a express lane or a toll lane on Highway 85 to convert the HOV lane to a toll lane to allow more vehicles to use that lane, because we know how impacted 85 is, primarily because of the commute that takes place from South Valley, where residential properties are, to the North Valley, where all the jobs are. And interestingly enough, at this particular board meeting, a couple of the San Jose council members reinitiated a request to add an additional lane, rather than just convert one lane, to add an additional lane. This has been a very significant issue for the West Valley cities, and I would just ask that you pay attention. I'm sure that this will be in the press relatively soon, but the current status is this toll lane will now be placed on hold while they investigate the viability of changing that median that's been reserved for some transit in the future to another vehicle lane. So I bring that to our attention as a community, because I know that it will have effect on us, as well as Cupertino, Saratoga, Montecito, and Campbell. And with that, I have concluded my announcements for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Brzezinski. Councilmember Spector.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Over the past 2 weeks, the Policy Committee, consisting of Councilmember McNutt and me, met, and we completed our work on the draft policies and procedures for the Planning Commission. It will now be going forward to the Planning Commission for review, and then ultimately to the Council for review and approval.
Thank you, Councilmember Spector. Anyone else? I will go next. On November 6th, I chaired the West Valley Solid Waste Management Authority meeting. Among items discussed were changing of the residential billing cycle to better serve the populace. In addition, we met in closed session for the annual performance evaluations of the executive director and the board attorney. And on November 12th, I attended the West Valley Sanitation District Board of Directors meeting. This meeting was a general business meeting with nothing substantial to report. And that concludes council matters, manager matters.
Yes. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, 2 items to report. First, the town is currently soliciting resident applications for up to 20 vacancies that occur on all the town's boards and commissions. Applications are available on the town website and are due to be submitted to the town clerk's office by Friday, December 5th. So again, the council and staff are encouraging all residents who wish to serve on the Parks Commission, Transportation and Parking, Planning Commission, Community and Senior Services, Arts and Culture, and the other boards and commissions to apply on the town website by Friday, December 5th. Also, this Saturday is the annual Senior Thanksgiving Lunch across the street at the Adult Recreation Center. I know members of the council will be present and serving, and we'd encourage our senior residents to join us for that lunch. Tonight's Did You Know is about the holiday shopping and festival season that's coming before us, and will be presented by Economic Vitality Manager Monica Wren.
Thank you and good evening. Did you know Los Gatos is a great place to shop, dine, and celebrate this holiday season? Downtown features more than 200 places to dine and shop. Outside of downtown, we offer 12 bustling neighborhood centers full of more shopping and specialty retailers, restaurants, services, and more. More reasons to stay is not just shopping during the day, but we do offer free unlimited valet parking in Lot 4 downtown. So when you're done shopping, you can stick around for dinner and meet your friends to celebrate. Other events to consider joining in Los Gatos is the holiday tree lighting, the Children's Holiday Parade, and our horse-drawn carriage rides through downtown, sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. If you're outside of downtown, consider the Billy Jones Railroad and take the ride through Oak Meadow Park to see some of the fantasy of lights offered by the County of Santa Clara. Finally, this year, the Visitors Bureau is offering a special giveaway to people who follow us on Instagram. Simply take a picture of your shopping, dining, or celebration in Los Gatos and tag it with hashtag #ShopLosGatos. And each Monday, there will be a pair of Wine Walk tickets given away to one of those entries. For more information, please visit us online. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wren. Moving on to consent calendar. Does any member of council wish to pull a consent item? Seeing none, I'll look for a motion on the consent calendar. Vice Mayor?
I'll move approval of the consent calendar.
We have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. It passes unanimously. Moving on to verbal communications. The first speaker I have is Ann Robinson.
Ann Robinson, Charter Oaks. And I'm here tonight to support the letter in the opinion section of the weekly by Peter Kleiss. He wrote regarding the North 40 development and the aspect of having senior housing as an important part of the North 40 if it's to be developed. And I wanted to just read some facts from the Stanford Center on Longevity. That was June 14th, 2012. It says, California, the 6th youngest state, will soon begin aging faster than the nation. According to the state's recently released interim population projections, the number of old people in California, those aged 65 and older, will double over the next 20 years from 4.3 million in 2010 to 8.4 million in 2030. And it goes on to say, doubling of the older population over the next 20 years means there's little time to prepare. Addressing the needs of California's aging population is increasingly urgent. Also, people living to this is from the Census Bureau, people living to 90 plus and beyond are the fastest growing group in the older population. The 90 plus older population nearly tripled over the past 3 decades. Over the next 4 decades, this population is projected to more than quadruple. The West had the fastest growth in population, 65 years and older, and 85 years and older. So I just wanted to throw that information out as we consider developing the North 40 and maybe take into a serious consideration the aspect of building maybe a senior living facility. I know I treat a lot of senior members of the community, and they always tell me there's wait lists on a lot of the senior living facilities in the area. So I think that wait list is going to be getting longer as the years go on. So I'm hoping that that's a definite consideration for the North 40. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Next speaker is John Shepherdson.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. First point I just want to make is every Friday morning we have a group of volunteers that right over here at the Senior Center that band together and provide food for the community, and I think that they are deserving of some kind of recognition, and I'm just doing a little bit of that now. Secondly, I suggest a website, maybe it's a town website section that offers a place for volunteers to both offer their services and people to seek those services. We have a lot of resources in this town, and I think that that's something that could be explored, and the manager got back to me on that, and I appreciate it. I believe the city of Santa Cruz has something like that, from what I've heard, is effective. And then the third thing, if I may use if this will work, it's just using one of your cards. I just did a little bit of research. We have 30,000 people in Los Gatos, and our fine police department, it costs about $14 million a year from what I've seen. Saratoga has 29,000 people, and they've shifted to the sheriff, and their budget is, from what I've seen, is $4.6 million. So there's a differential of about $10 million a year. You know, in over 10 years, that's going to be $100 million. Over 20 years, we're talking $200 million. If that goes 50 years, that's $500 million. So, you know, maybe it's not politically wise to raise this, and this is certainly not an attack on our police department and what they do. I'm just humbly suggesting that perhaps we engage in a kind of review, a comprehensive review. I think given any budget item, because I think this is this is like 42% of our budget, that it's worthy of getting sort of community surveys, comparing what how successful it is in Saratoga and Cupertino and Los Altos Hills, because all three of those communities, as I understand it, have the sheriff, and then take, you know, what the surveys show versus the cost that's involved, and really kind of make a comparison, is the bang versus the buck. And maybe it's not an either or. Maybe we can use the sheriff and then also have a smaller police department. So with that, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherdson. That was the last card I have for verbal communications. So we'll move on to other business, which is the selection of the vice mayor and the mayor this evening. And I will begin by making a nomination for the mayor. As the current sitting mayor, it is my last item of business as the mayor of Los Gatos. And 1 year ago, my first official act as the mayor was to select the vice mayor. The vice mayor I chose has done a terrific job serving Los Gatos and the people this year, and filling in for me as the mayor on several occasions. In addition to her role as the vice mayor, Marcia Jensen has represented the town on several council-appointed ad hoc committees, the VTA, which stands for Valley Transit Authority Policy Committee, the Conceptual Development Advisory Committee, the General Plan Committee, the Association of Bay Area Governments, and the League of California Cities. Before being elected to town council in 2012, Marcia Jensen served on the Planning Commission for 12 years and on numerous committees such as the General Plan Committee, the Architectural Standards, the Hillside and Trails and Bikeways Committees, and the North 40 Advisory Committee. Without further ado, I am very proud to nominate Vice Mayor Marcia Jensen to serve as the next mayor of Los Gatos. Do I have a second?
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. It passes unanimously. Congratulations, Mayor-elect Marcia Jensen.
Is it on? Yes. First, thank you, Mayor Leonardis, members of the council, staff, for all the help you've given me this year and for your confidence in me in nominating me to be your next mayor. I thought it was only appropriate for me to come down to this podium where all of you stand and address us and address you. And if the light goes off, I know I'm done and I've talked too long. So you can let me know. The first thing I wanted to do was to acknowledge those members of my family who are here tonight, who have been such a source of support for me. My husband, Leo Cunningham, my most unflinching, my most fair, and my most valuable critic, and my best source of support. Thank you for everything. My brother, Tom, who came up here and surprised me from San Diego today. Thank you. My brother, Peter, his wife, Jana, and my niece and nephew, Jordan and June, hello, who will be joining me in this year's Christmas parade. My son, Ryan, happy birthday, Ryan. Ryan was not very excited about coming down here tonight because he had spent many long hours in the town hall while we went to planning commission meetings and committee meetings and everything else. And so thank you, Ryan, for being such a trooper and being here tonight. My mother-in-law, Betty Cunningham, is here. Thank you for being here. And my many friends and supporters I see in the audience. I really wanted to single out one person, and because I'm going to steal his speech, who is my father, Judge D. Lowell Jensen. And Judge Jensen retired at the end of October from over 40 years of public service. He first served as a DA in Alameda County. He then became the DA in Alameda County through very interesting times for the free speech movement, Black Panthers, SLA, Hearst kidnapping. Then he went back to Washington, D.C., where he served as Assistant Attorney General in charge of the Criminal Division, went to Associate Attorney General and then Deputy Attorney General before becoming a federal judge in Northern California. So, Dad, you told a story at your very last criminal calendar, which I thought would be a good story to tell tonight, so with apologies. My father told the assembled people in this court a story of a person who visited the courts in Oakland from Australia. And the purpose of the visit was to observe how the court system worked in California and see how the criminal laws were administered. And after a long day watching the courts in Oakland, the gentleman came back upstairs and he was asked, "Well, what did you think?" And he said, "Your laws are impossible to figure out. But what I can tell you is that they are administered by men and women of goodwill." And tonight in this room, you are all men and women of goodwill wanting to do the best you can for Los Gatos. And I've seen that in your commitment every day, every meeting you come to, and everything you do. And so as men and women of goodwill wanting the best for Los Gatos, we have shared values and we have shared goals. So because our value is our quality of life, our goal is to protect and preserve our beautiful natural setting. It's to maintain the character and quality of our residential neighborhoods and our downtown. And it is to reduce traffic impacts on our already overburdened infrastructure. Because we value excellence in education, our goals are to maintain the quality of our schools and to make sure that we create opportunities for educational enrichment for every student that comes to school in Los Gatos in the future. Because we value the right to come and participate in our important decisions that our town faces every day, our goal is to make sure that we have an accessible and responsive town council and an accessible and responsive administrative staff, which makes sure that it works every day to ensure that our government and its processes are transparent and accountable to all our residents. So in the year ahead, in order to make those shared values come to life and those goals turn to reality, I will make it my personal goal to build bridges across Los Gatos. And I will work to build a bridge across and between our neighborhoods. I will ask residential neighborhoods who are perhaps more impacted than another by things going on in the town, that they look beyond their concerns to what might benefit the entire town. In turn, I will look to businesses, in particular downtown businesses, to reach out to their neighbors and be the best neighbor that they can be, and work proactively to manage issues before they become a problem. so that our downtown residents can become the fans of our downtown that they should be, rather than worrying about any issues that the downtown could create, because they would recognize that it's a town-wide asset. I will also work to build bridges between our town council and our schools and parents. And I've already asked town staff to set up quarterly meetings with our school boards, and so that we can address issues that affect us all, from safe routes to school, to traffic impacts created by our schools, to impacts on our schools created by decisions that the town council makes in terms of developments, or that could impact class size. So those kinds of things, we need to maintain an open dialogue between the council and the schools so that we are mutually aware of what's going on and can continue to work together. I will also work to build bridges between our administrative staff and our residents. I'll challenge the staff every day to make sure that any resident who contacts the staff electronically, by telephone, or walks in with a question, a concern, a complaint, or even a compliment, is greeted with the common courtesy of being acknowledged, being heard, and having a timely response given to their concern. These are some of the goals. My one last goal is to build a bridge between what I'm going to call old ideas and new ideas, and by that I mean old policies that might need to be re-examined in favor of new policies that might make sense now, old policies that maybe need to be strengthened because they've been forgotten in the time that they've been wallowing or languishing on a particular shelf somewhere. So as a part of that effort, the newly constituted policy committee is going to take a look at all of the myriad resolutions, policies, ordinances, and everything else we've got in our town to make sure that what we have is working for us the way that it should be. I recognize that these are ambitious goals, but I think that they are achievable ones, particularly with the men and women of goodwill that I see here, and in particular, especially, our newly elected council people who are here. In the back row, Mariko Sayak, and in front of her in the maroon shirt, Rob Rennie. Welcome. I look forward to working with you, and I look forward to receiving help in achieving the goals I've outlined to make a great year ahead for Los Gatos, and I need for that the help of a great vice mayor, and so I will formally nominate Barbara Spector.
I will second that nomination, and we are to have a vote on that. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. It passes unanimously. I'd like to, at this time, invite the newly minted Vice Mayor, Barbara Spector, to join me in the front.
All right, I will do that. And do you
Of
want me
the
to do
dais.
that before I get to say my few words?
No, I would like you to speak your few words first.
Oh, okay. I thought he forgot.
I did.
Okay, well, thank you. Where are you? Thank you, Mayor Jensen. Thank you, Council. It is my honor to serve as Vice Mayor in this coming year. It might be a truism, but what you're going to find, I would imagine, in the next 12 months is some things remain the same and some things change. One of the things that will remain the same is we will continue to have people from our community appear before us and express their appreciation for the town of Los Gatos, a beautiful town that originated along the shores along the Los Gatos Creek as it made its way down from the Santa Cruz Mountains. And it's that beauty that continues today in a new form. But there will be things that change, and in fact, Mr. Councilmember Przynski touched upon it. I think in this coming year, we will be making decisions in which we will be taking into consideration a lot of things that are happening outside of our town. We have ABAG, the Association of Bay Area Governments, that has housing numbers, RENA numbers, that we are going to have to address in our town, and in fact are in the process of trying to do that. We have VTA that may be making decisions on Highway 85 and on the extension of the light rail. We don't know what they're going to do, and in fact, my information on VTA changed right after we had council matters a few minutes ago. But these are things that are happening outside of our community that we are going to have to consider and that we may need to address. We have right next door in our neighboring Campbell a huge project that is being considered by them in the Dale area that could very well have an impact on our town. In our neighboring streets of San Jose, we have San Jose allowing for the expansion of Good Sam Hospital and for an office building, again, right near our border. Those are all things that will be changing, that we will have to consider. But something that is not going to be changing is you. I have no doubt that this community will continue to be engaged. In fact, my guess would be it's going to be more engaged in this coming year than it has in the past, and it's been engaged a lot. And I anticipate that you will continue to do the sophisticated research, analysis, and presentations here that definitely do assist. And so, council, community, I look forward to working with you in this coming year. It is my honor to serve as your vice mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Spector. Now would you like to join me down in front of the dais? I will begin here, and then I will probably eventually move to the podium so I can put down these papers. Perhaps I will put them there now. I want to start by thanking my family, especially my mom, who's here all the way from Florida tonight, for doing what a lot of people do when they come to Los Gatos, looking for a better life, looking for a better quality of life, looking for a wonderful community that has a great appeal for families, with schools, with beautiful scenery, beautiful hillsides, amenities, participation from the community. The list goes on and on and on. A beautiful downtown. Thank you, Mom, for bringing us to Los Gatos in 1987 and offering us a better life, a better quality of life. That's where it began. Also, would like to thank my mom for introducing me to public service at an early age. She dragged me out at her variety shows and various other things, community events, and it instilled it in me at a very early age the importance of serving in one's community and a desire to later on in life want to get involved. So I'm forever grateful for that, Mom. Thank you. I want to thank members of my family sitting in the audience tonight, my brother Brian, who I had my first job with, his son Spencer, and his girlfriend, my niece, Marissa, sister-in-law, Jessica, my daughter, Julia, my wife, Mary, and my daughter, Olivia. Thank you for all your love and support throughout time, and especially this past year when I had to forego joining you on the sofa, Julia and Olivia, watching Modern Family and things like this because I had to read a council binder or something. So thank you for your understanding and loaning me out to the Los Gatos community. Moving on to the wonderful council that I've had the pleasure of serving with. There are 5 of us up here, and they put in a lot of time. A lot of these meetings go into the late hours of the morning, and there's multiple issues, and there's sometimes 4 or 5 things on the agenda, and we get a lot of speakers from the community. We put in a lot of time reading and doing our research, bring our own personal experiences and the experience of many years on the council. We have a very experienced council forward to help bring resolution to a lot of issues to serve the community. And I think we've probably done somewhere around 100 resolutions this year where we've found common ground and we worked together. And as Mr. Ray Davis used to say, united we stand. So thank you to the council for your hard work, and thank you for supporting me. When I came up here a year ago, I was nervous as heck. I still am that guy. I'm an introvert by nature, but my mom dragged me out, so thank you for that. But it's one of those things where your support throughout this year has helped me a lot, and it's been a great year of personal growth for me, tremendous personal growth. Thank you for your support. Would also like to thank our wonderful staff. As Laurel Prevetti put it recently at a meeting where we swore on a new police officer, that working in Los Gatos is like one big happy family. The staff has been very supportive. They've done a lot of work, and we've achieved a lot this year on council, as well as provided the routine services to the community that we all have come to expect. Fixing streets, fixing lights, fixing signs, fixing this, fixing that, maintaining the community, beautifying the community, library services, police services, public works services, services in community development for those with projects, building your houses, et cetera, et cetera. They've done all the ceremonial stuff. They've done all the support for ceremonial stuff. The list goes on and on and on. A lot of these things may be invisible to the public just because we take them for granted after a while, but the process is most often quite seamless. I will go over now a few of the things that the council and the staff has achieved this year, what we call town and department victories. Beginning with one of the first things we've done, we've hired our new town attorney. That was our council last December. One of the first things that I was mayor during that time. Completed negotiations with the town's 3 employee unions and successfully adopted union contracts through 2015 and 16. Reduced the town's actuarial liability for ongoing savings of $200,000 per year by restructuring the town's medical contributions for future Medicare-eligible retirees. So we save the town $200,000 a year by doing that. Reduce the town's unfunded pension liability by $4.5 million, saving approximately $220,000 per year through fiscal year 2021. Council saw the vision of saving the town about $1.5 million over the next 7 years during our budget process. So thank you to the council for that. That's quite substantial. Council approved the Catwalk public art installation along North Santa Cruz. This is the first ever council approved art installation, and we're looking forward to more in the near future. Council approved a location in the Civic Center for a Veterans Memorial, which is continuing to be discussed on January 20th. Council heard the reuse of the venue, and that will be coming back to us in the new year with recommendations from the Youth Commission. Council heard the PD ordinance. When it comes to transparency in government, Council, this is a priority of ours for several years, was the town website redesign, launched in July of 2014. Contains some new features, such as report a concern feature, which means you can complain and track online. Very handy. You can track your planning projects and the information online now to find out the status of them. And meetings are noticed on the town website as well, providing earlier notice for the items going to the Planning Commission and the Town Council. So, new and improved website. I hope you all get a chance to use it, visit it. It's very functional. I was on there last night. Regarding our economic development achievements, we have a wonderful economic development department headed by Monica Wren. We have almost 100% tenant occupancy in downtown. We have new tenants at the Downey Center, which is located at Union and Los Gatos Almaden Road, and the Walgreens Blossom Hill Center, which is located at Harwood and Blossom Hill Road. That is where Dance Attack Studio, who you saw perform earlier this night, is located. So we're getting some rejuvenation in our centers around Los Gatos. In addition, the council has adopted a new alcohol and entertainment policy. Thank you to Councilmember Brzezinski, who was on the ad hoc committee with me on that, and we brought forward the recommendations. Regarding some strategic goals, progress that we made during the council's strategic goals this year. We clarified the role of a consulting architect. We posted the conditional use permit database on the town's website. We heard the North 40 specific plan. That is continuing. We completed the housing element draft. Those are some of our other goals that were on our strategic goals. Moving on to some other economic developments and things that have come forward this year. Very proud of the fact that we were able to bring some kind of resolution to the Albright Way project after several years working on that. And thank you to our town attorney, Mr. Robert Schultz, who helped bring a settlement forward. The Los Gatos Theater opened. We're very proud of the theater. Very proud of our library. 400,000 in-person visits. The use continues to increase. Proud of our library staff, Heidi Murphy and Henry Bankhead, sitting over to my right. 250,000 virtual visits. 1 million items circulated. 500,000, 600,000, or excuse me, 1 million items in our online catalog page views, and 600,000 items were circulated this year. More than 17,000 ebooks borrowed. But what makes me most proud is the 368 children's programs offered, which serve about 15,000 children and parents in the community. And we also have served more than 18,000 teens during the after-school hours in our library. So very proud of those accomplishments this year. Proud of our police department and their launch of the Neighborhood on Watch program. Also very proud of the cyberbullying presentations. I've attended a couple of those, one in conjunction with CASA, which help our youth in our community understand the nuances of this growing issue. We hired 2 new patrol officers and a budget analyst for our police department. Moving on to our Parks and Public Works and some of the things that they've achieved this year, along with council direction. We've received a grant for the installation of 4 more charging stations. We've worked with the Transportation and Parking Committee for increased regulation of on-street vehicle sales and advertising. We've revised the traffic impact fee to a more current schedule of rates. There's been several capital projects, one being the Winchester Knowles intersection improvements, the remodeling of the old library space, which is currently being turned into a museum for the arts and history, as well as the bookstore, the library, Friends of the Library bookstore. Several traffic calming projects, routine maintenance of retaining walls, sidewalks, park lighting upgrades and ADA access paths, town park and tree trimmings, replacing the bark in the children's play areas with something called Fibar that doesn't get caught in your shoes and give you splinters. Painting of the Oak Meadow gazebo, which I was very proud of during the evening of the street dance. It looks beautiful. It really makes the park look beautiful, Oak Meadow Park. The Highway 9 intersection improvement project, which is almost wrapped up. Traffic studies in and around the schools, signal timing, the grants applied that will be applied for the green bike lanes and the safety of alternative transportation. Council recently gave that direction. And last but not least, a couple more things that Council has achieved this year. We've moved the Council meetings till Tuesday, and there was the leaf blower ordinance, which is a quality of life issue that I think most people have appreciated. I would be remiss if I did not thank, last but not least, the public. It was a year ago I stood up here and I said, the reason why I'm doing this is for you. I'm so moved by your participation in this community and your contributions in this community. The service clubs, the boards and commissions, the faith groups, organizations like the Scouts. The list is endless, and we have so many volunteers in our community that make it special and bring us events and bring us fun. And all those who came and speak or come and spoke at the meetings, very grateful for your input. Council does listen. We're very grateful for your attendance. Continue to bring it forward. All the ideas I ever bring forward were not necessarily my own ideas, but something I heard that was a concern from the community. And I tried to set agenda items in that order to serve the people. And I think it has worked out quite well this year. Last but not least, we will be showing a video. And this video is essentially a snapshot in time of 2014 and the year of Los Gatos. And I'm very proud of the video put forth by staff, and Felicia, thank you for doing this. It shows, well, we'll let you watch it, but the idea was to depict life in Los Gatos and what we're all here for, and why I came, and why we all stay, and why we all love our community. And we will move on to the video. And thank you for my mom also for playing that record in about 1974 when I was 5 years old. I hope I've introduced some more people to the Carpenters this evening. Thanks again to the community. A small depiction of the kind of community we have, and you know, we can only get a fraction of what really occurs on an annual basis in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. But thank you again. And we will bring forward now the newly elected Vice Mayor and Mayor.
It's my pleasure to present our outgoing mayor, Steve, with this lovely gavel to remember your year. Steve's been a fantastic mayor. We can't thank him enough for his enthusiasm, his ideas, his friendliness, his always smiling face, his love of Corvettes, and all the businesses that he's brought in. Thank you, everything. Thank you, Steve, for everything you've done for us this year.
I just have one more thing to share this evening. Big fan of See's candies, and if I'm going to get an award, My mom was going to get an award from See's Candies, her favorite. We have a new location in Los Gatos, open on a temporary basis through Christmas. I hope you all get a chance to go down there, because depending on the success we give them, they may open a permanent location. And one for the family. I know this will disappear very quickly at my house. Thank you. Thank you to See's Candies. Thank you to Mr. Larson for bringing that gift forward.
Thanks again, Steve. And Barbara, I'm sorry to leave you over there, but you look good. I neglected earlier, and I don't know if Chromecast is working, but Alexandra, if you're out there in Washington, D.C. watching this, hello, thank you. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce to you a very, very good friend of mine, Judge Richard Seaborg. And if you will come up. I worked with Richard Seaborg at the U.S. Attorney's Office in San Jose. We met in 1991. We tried 2 big cases together, one successfully, one not so successfully, but we had a great time doing it. Richard is brilliant, nice, a man of great integrity, and thank you very much for coming from San Francisco to do this. He, after being a federal prosecutor, he was made a United States magistrate judge in San Jose in 2001 and asked me to participate in that ceremony. I'm returning the favor now. In 2010, he was appointed by the president to be a judge of the district court in Northern District of California, where he now sits in San Francisco. So, Richard, thank you.
And I'll take that spot and come back here.
All right.
Members of the town council and ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say what a great honor and personal pleasure it is for me to administer the oath of office to your new mayor and your vice mayor. Your new mayor stole some of my thunder because I will make this brief, but I was going to make reference to the fact that we've known each other for a very long time, starting in the 1990s, early 1990s, when we served together as federal prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office in San Jose. And as Marcia mentioned, in fact, we prosecuted together several large white-collar cases. I remember the successful one. The unsuccessful one I don't really remember. But I will tell you that that is a true bonding experience. And from that and from my close friendship with Marcia, I can tell you that your new mayor is a person of keen intellect, complete integrity, sound good judgment, and sometimes a wicked sense of humor. Marcia has that rare ability to separate the wheat from the chaff and figure out what's important. And I know that is a trait that I am sure will come in very handy as mayor of this beautiful place. As for toughness, I can tell you that in one of those cases that she made reference to, she cross-examined Clint Eastwood, and she emerged victorious. So need I say more? As for your former mayor and soon-to-be new vice mayor, Barbara Spector, I can tell you that she has long been a very respected member of the Bay Area legal community. Indeed, she is currently one of the most sought-after mediators by lawyers on all sides for resolving their legal disputes. And in fact, one of our legal newspapers recently carried a profile of Barbara with the following descriptions, and I quote, "She just walks into a room and everyone steps aside. She is a no-nonsense person who is not touchy-feely, but just gets down to business. She is very straightforward and doesn't try to play either side or sugarcoat things." So I'm planning to send all my cases to her to see if she can get them resolved. In short, I congratulate all of you for selecting such fine public servants to lead your community. The town of Los Gatos plainly is in very good hands. So with that, now the formal script, and I will come over in my designated spot, and I'm supposed to put my toe on this right here, which I will do. Very good. So, Mayor-elect Jensen, Vice Mayor-elect Spector. In the positions to which you have been selected by your fellow council members, you assume added responsibility in the leadership of the town of Los Gatos. Your actions and decisions must be guided by a deep and abiding concern for the best interests of the public. To you this year comes the privilege of service to your peers and the tremendous satisfaction that is generated through the investment of your time and your talent in the lives of others. Mayor and Vice Mayor, will you raise your hands? Do you solemnly and sincerely promise and swear that you will serve as Mayor and Vice Mayor to the best of your ability and judgment, and that you will endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interests of the town of Los Gatos? I do hereby proclaim that Marcia Jensen is officially installed to the position of Mayor of Los Gatos and Barbara Spector as Vice Mayor. Congratulations.
I'll just talk loud. Thanks, everyone. I think that concludes our meeting. There's cake outside. Thank you all very much for coming. We appreciate it. Good night.